Hello, everyone. Happy late Valentine's Day. We didn't
Oh
say Happy
yeah,
Valentine's Day last time.
I totally forgot. Who cares? It's such a meaningless holiday.
Yeah, that's true. Well,
Well,
nonetheless, Happy
not
Valentine's Day.
meaningless, but whatever. That's not this podcast. That's our next
Yeah.
one, the holiday one.
We talk about movies. We are the Brother Sister Show. I'm Anthony,
I'm Livia.
and we talk about movies. That's pretty much it.
All right, and we always start off with catching up with what we've watched. So, do you want to go first? I always go first.
Sure, I'll go first. Well, last time, if you guys follow us on Twitter, you saw that I didn't watch the Oscars, and I did something a lot better. I watched Parasite in theaters while they were knocking it out of the park. But we'll talk about that later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I watched Parasite in theaters uh, last weekend or whenever the Oscars were,
Where
and
did you see it?
it was just a Cinemark near campus.
Oh,
I'd much rather do that than support the Oscars.
oh
But
yeah, that was like 100% the right decision.
yeah, it's a perfect movie. The writing's perfect, music's perfect, shot composition, acting, everything. But
Oh,
I
well,
don't
I'm
know. I
gonna
think it's
jump
cool that
in.
oh,
No, go on.
I think it's cool that I saw it when it like the night it won Best Picture. You know.
Yeah.
But what are you gonna jump into?
I was just gonna say I also saw it this week, this past week.
Oh yeah,
My second time watching it, and like you said, it's the perfect movie.
it really is. I would have been so upset if it didn't win, but it did. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Um. So yeah, I saw Parasite, and then I saw another fabulous movie, Birds of Prey.
Oh yeah.
Couple things felt very much like Deadpool in the way that the story was told, and a little bit of the aesthetic as well. But I liked how the story was told because it was told from Harley's perspective, and it was very sporadic and it matched her character. But it was a little cheesy, but I still enjoyed it. I probably wouldn't watch it again. If not, if I would watch it again, it probably wouldn't be for a couple of years. But there's this one part in the movie. Have you seen it? Did you see
No.
that? Well, there's this one part that I really liked that where Harley's told that she has to do something within a certain amount of time, and she runs off to go do it. But then it was a nice transition from like her like that arc right there closing off, and then it goes straight into another character's arc. I don't know. I thought it was really interesting the way that they did
Hmm.
that specific part. Yeah, it wasn't terrible. I mean, it wasn't the best, but I wasn't expecting much. And then finally, the last thing I saw was Sonic. Sonic was not as bad as everyone was gonna say it was gonna be, but it also wasn't as good as other people thought it was gonna be. Um,
Yeah, I agree.
you saw it, right? You saw it last night.
Yeah, I did. That's when I
I
sent you. So, that's when I sent you that music video because Sebastian and I went to go see it at the Draft House, and anybody who's been to a Draft House knows that they have like a pre-show. Like, I mean, any theater you go to has a pre-show, but the Draft House has one that's kind of curated where whatever movie you're going to see, it shows stuff related to it. So for like Godzilla, they showed us it was a bunch of like old Godzilla videos. And then for Sonic, they had a bunch of videos about like the games. There was this one weird music video that was like an old one. And they also showed like a picture, or not a picture, a video of a hedgehog just eating apples. But one of them was apparently there, I don't know exactly who is in the music video, but they had like somebody made a song for Sonic, like for the movie, and it's a fucking mess. But they played the music video, and me and Sebastian were just floored by the existence of this song. And then after I looked it up and we played it in the car. And then I also found out that they performed on Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Oh
So
my.
I know it's a mess, but sorry, go on about your
It felt
experience.
that music video felt so like they tried way too hard on that
Oh
one.
yeah. Super, super hard. I think I told Sebastian like I think it's a cool concept to have a song. I mean, they do that all the time now, I feel like I think even for Birds of Prey, they had a bunch of female rappers come on and do a song together.
Yeah.
But I don't it was such a like weird grouping of people. I don't know. I didn't expect it. And it closed out the movie, which was very interesting. But it was just really, it was cheesy, and it was kind of like it was a perfect fit for the movie because the movie was cheesy in a lot of ways. But I'm more interested of your thoughts of the movie.
Okay. So let me start with what I didn't like. I didn't like the whole cheesy I don't have any friends bit. Like at first it was okay, but it got overplayed, overdone so fast. I was just like first 10 minutes of the movie, there was like three parts where Sonic slows down and he realizes he doesn't have any friends. I was just like, this is too much, too fast.
Yeah.
Um, but there was one part that made me and Kayla laugh really hard. Was when I don't care if I'm gonna spoil this movie, and it's not even like a major plot point, but it's where Dr. Robotnik or Jim Carrey's character is talking to Tom, and like he says something along the lines of like I was writing formulas when you were spitting out formula. And then Tom says, "Oh, I was actually breastfed." And Robotnik says,
Yeah.
"Well, why don't you rub it in my orphan face then?"
Yeah.
Something like that. We couldn't stop laughing. That was such
Oh,
a funny part.
it was very. I think the one thing I did love about this movie is that I felt like it brought back Jim Carrey in a really big way, where it felt like a '90s Jim Carrey. I
Yeah,
think the way he
like
said that
the
line,
mask.
yeah, or there was one line that he said, and I think it was that where it was very like Ace Ventura when he said, "Why don't you
Yeah.
rub it into my orphan face?"
Yeah. There was that part, and then the part where he's yelling at his assistant, but
About
he's
the
like, "Pin
latte?
yourself to the wall."
Oh,
No,
no,
no, he like
sorry, go on.
no, he's like getting mad at him. He's like, "Pin yourself against the wall," and he gets real close. But yeah, the latte one was too, where he's like, "I love how you make
He's
uh
like,
my
he said,
lattes."
"Of course I do," or he's like, "Do I look like an imbecile? I want one because I love the way you make them."
Yeah.
Oh, that part made me laugh. That part made me laugh so hard. And then there was another part, but it had nothing to do with like anything in the movie that made me laugh. Where do you remember that part where the girl like saw his shoes were all shitty, and so she presented him with like new ones when she did, and they like they had the shot of the shoes. Some guy behind us said, "Hey." And like
Hey.
Sebastian and I like cried laughing. I don't even know what happened after that scene because I was like crying so hard. I'm like crying now thinking about it. It was so funny. It was like silent in the theater and just a perfect A. Oh God. But yeah, it was an okay movie. I don't know, it wasn't the one part that I could do without that they could just cut out of the movie entirely is the bar scene. I
Mm,
hated every minute of that.
very Quicksilver, X-Men.
Yeah, and like we didn't need that. I get that he's fast. I
Yeah.
don't know. It was not great, but it was fine. Whatever.
I had a fun time. I love Sonic. I played it all the time. There was this one Sonic game, Sonic Heroes, came out in 2003. I played that game all the time. I had to look it up because I couldn't remember which Sonic I played.
Hmm.
And they had like a theme song. Immediately knew all the words to it. I like unlocked a different part of my brain.
Oh, you would have
But
loved
yeah.
seeing it at the Draft House then, because they had so many videos of like old commercials.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I was doing after the movie.
Mhm. It was really cool.
Did you stay for the after credit scene?
Yeah. Eh. I mean,
I'm
I
excited that they
understand.
did it.
Yeah, I understand that who that was. I don't really I played Sonic before, but it was never really like a game that I absolutely loved. I mean, call me when the Crash Bandicoot game comes out, 'cause I'm there. Or game. Did I say game? I mean movie.
You say game, but all of it's
Um,
fine.
I meant movie. But I understood that who that was, but
That got
I
me
don't know.
so excited. But yeah, it's kicking it in the box office. It's doing better than Birds of Prey. It's like the number one movie in the world, I think, right now, or that's what Ben Schwartz was
Yeah.
tweeting. And it's like it's the best opening, or I think it's the best any video game movie
It's about to
adaptation has ever done.
pass. It's about to pass Pikachu, Detective Pikachu,
Oh,
or
really?
maybe, or it might have already. But yeah,
That's crazy though. I
I
honestly,
I
the CGI
don't
wasn't
think.
that bad.
No, you could tell it was rushed though.
The only parts that were terrible was when they were interacting with him.
Yeah, when he was carrying him
Oh
and his
my
legs were like
gosh.
really straight. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
That
Oh
was
my
so
gosh.
funny. Yeah, go away. Sorry. Um, but yeah, and then oh my God, the whole end was really cringy. The whole Olive Garden thing. I bet you loved that shit though.
Oh, I was like, this is too much. I get it. They paid for this movie.
Also, I and also the Zillow ad too. She was like, "Yeah, I was looking at Zillow in the perfect shot of the screen." Oh my God. That was
Yeah.
very dumb. And then the one thing too I was mad about was if you're gonna make a joke about Olive Garden, I feel like the Never Ending Possible is like fine, but I think when people make a joke about the whole tour of Italy thing, that would have been a funnier joke.
Mm,
Or maybe it's too like inside baseball. Like maybe not a lot of people know that they do that.
yeah. The whole when the main dude said, I only have
The Olive Garden app,
yeah, that's the only app I
because when
have.
you're here, your family. So
Yeah.
stupid. Oh,
Yeah,
God.
that's pretty much it. Well,
That's all you saw?
yeah, I mean, I had a test this past week, so I've been mainly
Uh,
studying for that. Um,
I
killing
forget
it
that you
in
have
school.
school.
Yeah. No, I'm doing good in
That's good.
school. Um, will say, I just came from Kayla's place. We started watching Watchmen, or she started watching it again, or I started watching it again. She's watching it for the first time, the first episode. I think she's hooked.
I don't know why, but I'm like, I want to start it, and every time I open HBO, I like go to start it, but then I'm like, no, I don't know. I don't know why. I feel like part of me is like, what if I don't like it as much as everybody else does? Or
Yeah.
what if it's not worth it? I know it will be, but we'll see. Maybe I'll have Sebastian watch it with me so he can explain to me what's happening.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. That's all I've been up to.
Oh, well, I have a lot. Not a lot. I watched a lot of stuff, but I only picked four. I mean, we talked about Sonic, but yeah, I saw Sonic last night. I saw Parasite. And then I rewatched two movies. Actually, a lot of movies, but two that I want to talk about. The first one was 50-50. Do you remember that movie?
50-50.
With Joseph Gordon-Levitt and
Oh, it's the one where he has cancer,
Seth
right?
Rogen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Solid movie. A good rewatch.
I don't think I've seen
Um,
all of it.
oh, really?
Mm-mm.
You should watch it. I think it's on Netflix. That's what I watched it on. But it's really good. It's like sad, but still super funny. Has a lot of romantic elements too. It kind of has everything that you want.
Mm-mm.
But that one was good. And then another one was Maud. I think I told you to watch this movie one time.
I saw. Yes, this is the one with
Ethan Hawke.
yeah.
And I don't remember why. I think I was just like I was kind of in a writing rut and I really wanted to watch something that's written really well. And so I was like, oh, I'll just watch Maud. I think it's called Maud. It's either called Maud or Maudie, but either way, it's very good. It's like one of the best love stories I think I've ever seen. And it's very well made and written, and I just love it so much. So those were two good rewatches. Well, another one I'll throw on there that I watched this morning is Lars and the Real Girl. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I have. That's oh yes, that's Ryan Gosling and the doll, right?
Yeah, that's probably no, not probably. That is my favorite role that he's ever done. It is such a
He,
fucking good movie.
he's really funny in that.
He's just so good. He's so like believable and sweet, and I just love that movie so much. And
Hmm.
that's another good rewatch. It's kind of sad, but it has like a good. It's sad, but it's very uplifting in a lot of ways. But
Yeah.
yeah. But two other movies that I've seen are like two newer ones is To All the Boys, P.S. I Love You, which is a very stupid
Oh,
title. But it's the sequel to All the Boys I Loved Before. I think that's what the first one's called. Um, and I don't know if you saw the first one.
I did.
Oh, that's the one with King Batch.
Hmm.
I'm happy to report he is not in this one.
Ooh, might have to go watch it now.
I know, but it's not that great.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I liked, but it was kind of surprising though because at least I, like personally, I liked the first one. I thought the first one was really like sweet. And the second one I didn't like that much. There were some weird parts and I didn't realize that I think it's with a different director and I think that's why I didn't like it. But I don't know, it
Mm,
just wasn't it didn't have the same feel of like the first one where, the first one I was like, "Oh, this is so cute and happy and whatnot." And it was cute in some ways, but it was also like I don't know, I just didn't like the way it ended, I think. But yeah. And then the second one that I saw is a new movie. I think it just came out this week called Olympic Dreams. Have you heard of it?
no, I have not.
So it's with I think the only person so okay, it's an interesting concept. So it's the only movie that's ever been filmed within the Olympic Village. And
Okay, okay.
I don't remember which Olympics it was at. It was at one of the Winter Olympics where they filmed it, and it stars an Olympic athlete. I think her name is like Alexi something, and Nick Kroll.
Papas?
Pappas, yeah, and Nick Kroll, and she plays herself, but like not like fully herself. I think she has like a different name, and she's like a character, and then Nick Kroll plays a volunteer dentist and it's kind of I guess it's like a love story, kind of like like a coming of age, not really coming of age, but yeah, a little bit. I don't know. But it was interesting the way they filmed it. It wasn't like a set, obviously, because they filmed within the Olympic Village, and so they would have just like the real athletes in the movie.
Mm.
And she was acting, and then there was another athlete in it that was acting, and his name is Gus Kentworthy. He was pretty famous like back in the day for I think he did like he was like so for some political reason I think him and Mike Pence had like a feud or something. I don't know, but so he's a little bit like he's noteworthy other than the fact that he's an Olympian, but yeah, it was a really interesting concept where they would have athletes come in and like because he's pretending to be a dentist, right? So he would come in or they would come in and he would basically interview them. And so it'd be them really actually like talking to him. And then there's parts in the movie where people would stop him and ask like for directions. And they didn't know that he was acting and that he's like an actor, not actually working there. And they would keep that in the movie. So the way that they filmed it was interesting, and it actually itself is a good movie. So yeah. So it was pretty good. I don't know. It's not like the best movie I've ever seen, but it
Hmm.
was a cool concept. And for it to be the first film like made within the village, which is very surprising to me. Like it's one of those things that's surprising but not because I feel like that would be such a good area to tell like a story, but I also get why logistically it's probably not the best idea. But yeah, I'm gonna look at more interviews and stuff because I'm interested to see how they did it. But yeah,
Just a little back check right here. It is Maudie. The movie's Maudie.
Maddie, okay, but her name is Maud, but he calls her
Mm-mm.
that, so I think that's why I was confused. But thank you for that.
Yeah, just thought I'd. Well, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Now, now let's talk about some
Right.
movie news. That's what we do. Catch up, movie news, then our movie. So what
First
do we
and
got?
foremost, the Oscars. I don't really want to get into each category because who cares? The biggest winner of the night, and probably the most surprising, like most surprising in general. I think for people that know that follow us on Instagram and just know me, know that I am obsessed with Parasite and I talk about it all the time. But the fact that it won was still very surprising. Like surprising enough to where every time it was up for an award and they were reading out the winners, I made Sebastian hold my hand. But I was pleasantly surprised because everybody thought it would go to 1917 and they thought the director, like even for the director award, I think too. So, yeah, it was a nice surprise to see that it was actually rewarded for doing a great job and for being the best movie of the year. That doesn't happen a lot. So, which is stupid to say because it should happen every year, but it doesn't. So, that was nice. Also, Taika Waititi winning, that was a really cool win. I
Yeah.
don't know if you saw
I
that
saw
one.
I saw a bunch of people were like trashing him
Why?
because he win he won for best adapted screenplay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why because as like I said, I was in the theater when the Oscars were happening and I got out like 10 minutes before they were gonna announce Best Picture, and so Taika Waititi had already won. And
Mhm.
I was just like me and Kayla were on our phones just trying to see who was like if they announced Best Picture. And I just remember seeing a lot of like, why did he get this win?
Oh.
Like Greta Gerwig should have won.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. Which is stupid. For one, I okay. So for one, I know a lot of people on like film Twitter that I follow didn't like Jojo Rabbit. I didn't love it, but I wasn't mad that he won because I think it was a good script. And anything he writes, he's such a good writer that of course
Hmm.
I think it's the best script, even though it's probably not the best movie. But I just don't understand all these Greta Gerwig like stands coming out and being like that she deserved all this like recognition when I don't really think she did. I mean, I was listening to a podcast, I think it was Pete Holmes' podcast, where he was saying like he didn't like it, like he didn't like Little Women because he liked the one before this one and he didn't understand why you had to make another one. And I kind of feel the same way because I think it was clever the way she did the timeline and the way she wrote it, but I feel like she didn't do much with the story to be able to call it or to be able to like have it be better than an original script. Even
Hmm.
though it is adapted, but I don't think many people know that he adapted it from a book that has nothing to do with Hitler. His
I,
mom showed him a book about having like I think some kid had an imaginary friend or something and he just took that concept. So he didn't adapt it from like how Little Women she adapted the exact story. He adapted it from an idea.
mm, yeah.
But I don't know. I just don't understand how I understand how people are saying like yes, a woman should have been nominated and I honestly think that most of the people saying that she should have won are saying because a woman should have won when the person who won is an indigenous man. So like you still have representation from his win.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say too. I remember seeing that, and I was like, he's like, why are you fighting this? He's on the side. He's on the right side. I don't
Yeah.
know.
And I
It
mean,
was a. I love Jojo Rabbit. I think that's a fantastic movie. I was happy to see it be recognized. There was that video that Brie Larson took of him just like shoving his Oscar
oh yeah,
under the seat in front of him. That's so funny.
I love him. I don't understand. And that was another surprising win too. I didn't think he would win, but I don't know. I just I'm so tired of people kind of giving because they don't really do that. The only thing I'll say is they don't do that for any other group than white women. They don't really shell out all this like they should have won unless it's a Greta Gerwig. Like I like that energy and I do agree with it in some respects. Like I do think she should have been recognized at least for best director because that movie is really well directed. But like let's have that same energy for a lot of other artists too, not just a Greta Gerwig, you know.
Hmm.
But yeah.
That was the Oscars. Lame.
Yeah, Bong Joon-ho, he's the winner of the night and I'm surprised and I'm happy. And the best line of the night was when he said, "I'm gonna drink all night."
he's he's so funny. But
Okay, so I have two more things. The next one is the trailer for Wes Anderson's new movie. I think it's called French Dispatch. I didn't look it up. I just put that from memory. Um, I didn't watch it because I think I'm going to commit to not knowing anything about it. The only thing I want to talk about is Timothy Chalamet's hair because I've seen that thumbnail go around, and
yeah,
that itself is making me intrigued.
that really looks like my hair when I wake up.
Oh my God, same. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't know if you have any thoughts about that.
Oh, that movie, there's so many good actors in it. It'd be hard to list them all from memory, but there's a lot. And
Usually the usual suspects are in it, and then I think some other people.
mhm. Yeah, it's called The French Dispatch. But I love his movies, and he's a fantastic director, and his just the overall aesthetic. It's gonna be amazing, just from the trailer. Very
And I
excited.
already know it's gonna be just every single award show he's gonna be doing the circuit. I already know
Mhm.
it.
Mhm.
Okay, and the last one is one I'm sure you'll be excited to talk about.
Yeah, this is the
Is
one I was gonna bring up.
okay, go ahead.
Oh, Batman, baby.
The bat.
So, Matt Reeves, that's the director, right?
Yeah.
He released some I guess like test footage of Robert Pattinson in the Bat as the Bat, and boy, I watched that thing so many times. It looks so cool. Very Arkham Asylum, Arkham Knight, like a gritty Batman take. I don't know.
How
It
can you
looks
tell? Because I
perfect.
can't see shit.
Well, it's mainly like the chest plate. It looks more like metallic. I don't know. Christian Bale's, it looks like his helmet looks plastic. It looks plastic, you know. But this one,
Oh.
I feel like it's more metal, or it's definitely metallic. You look at the bat symbol on it, it looks like it has a purpose. It's not just there for show. Like he uses it like a gun or something. I'm very interested because um, I could talk about this forever. But the one thing I will say is I feel like he has a weird head shape for it to fit the cowl. Because I don't know if it
Yeah.
was just the test footage itself, but because you only see from about his like the middle of his forehead down to his like chest.
Hmm.
And I want to know what his like ears look like or the little pointy ports. Because it looks like he'll have a dome for a head. I don't know, it looks like it'll look weird.
Yeah.
But I'm very, very intrigued. I like the music that they chose for it.
Have they said who the villain's gonna be?
Well, I know they've casted a bunch of people. What's his name? Um, Colin Farrell's gonna be the Penguin.
Colin Farrell?
I believe so.
Wait, is that who I think it is? I'm like having a brain aneurysm.
You might know him as Johnny Depp's like doppelganger from
Oh,
Fantastic
yes.
Beasts.
I did not know he's gonna be in it. Holy shit. I'm
Yeah,
very
he
excited
is,
now.
right?
I love him. The only person I know is Catwoman's gonna be Zoe Kravitz. That's all I know.
Yeah.
And I know
Yeah.
that Jonah Hill was in talks to be in it, but I think that kind of fell through, right?
I think he was going to be Penguin.
Oh, what
But
an interesting pivot.
yeah, so we have Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon,
Ooh.
Paul Dano is going to be
Ooh.
Riddler,
Holy shit.
Andy Serkis is Alfred Pennyworth, which
Okay.
is amazing.
Yeah.
John Turturro, Turturro
Ooh. Okay.
going to be in Carmine Falcone.
The Riddler, Paul Dano. I love him. Wow. I'm so excited for this movie now.
Hmm.
All right. If they
Very.
bring back Tom Hardy as Bane, I'm gonna lose my shit. No, I'm kidding.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of villains here.
Have they said anything about it? Like what it's gonna be about, or like have they said
I've
any plot points or anything?
not that I know of. The only thing that I like remember hearing is that it was gonna be um like loosely based on the Long Halloween. It was like a limited series
Hmm.
for Batman where it's like he's just trying to solve a mystery on Halloween night. But it's supposed to be I haven't read it, but from what I remember, there's a lot of villains included, and because Batman at the end of the day he's the world's best detective. He's the smartest man alive pretty much. And this comic is is I guess showing that in a
Mm.
way. His amazing detective skills. But I don't know. I really do not know anything, and that makes me even more excited.
I'm very
But yeah,
excited. I was excited as soon as I said Robert Pattinson. I think he's the perfect choice for this.
yeah.
Do you not agree?
No, I'm excited. I'm interested to see where he'll take it. I mean, I really like Christian Bale, but Robert Pattinson,
I
everything I've seen of him recently, he's fantastic in it. So I think he'll knock it out of the
Yeah.
park. But I just don't know how big that park will be. You know.
Yeah. I wonder what the reception was like when Christian Bale became Batman. Because I think I wasn't like super into movies back then, so I don't think I ever like realized, but I don't know. I wonder like what people, I guess I could ask mom and dad like what they thought when they heard that he was going to be Batman. Because I would assume theirs would be, they're used to like Michael Keaton and Val Kilmer. So I don't
I'm
know
sure
if it would be
Mom was
too
upset.
much. Why?
I don't know. She's always mad at like weird things.
That's true. Yeah, I'm not even gonna say what she said about Sonic because I'm not gonna slander her name out here. Because I don't want people to know what she thinks about Sonic. But yeah, I can imagine her saying, I don't know, I just don't like Christian Bale's face. I'm like, why?
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't like him.
I don't know. That's interesting. I'm excited. I think he'll be really good,
Yeah.
but we'll see. All right. Anything else?
Nah, that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, let's get into my pick, Horse
Oh,
Girl.
oh boy.
All right. So let me just do a little overview. So Horse Girl came out last Friday, right?
Hmm.
The time we were recording this. So it came out last Friday. It was directed by Jeff Baena. I think that's how you say his name. Also written by Jeff Baena and Allison Brie. The principal cast is Allison Brie, Molly Shannon, and Debbie Ryan were the first three billed, which is interesting. And the plot is this is a movie about Sarah, a socially isolated arts and crafts store employee, finds herself more content in the company of horses and supernatural crime shows than people. But when a series of strangely surreal dreams upend the simplicity of her waking life, Sarah struggles to distinguish her visions from reality. A darkly humorous psychological thriller about a woman's search for the truth, however abstract it may be. And so because this came out on Netflix and it came out super recently, I couldn't find a budget anywhere. We
Yeah, I
don't
couldn't
have,
either.
yeah, so we don't have any numbers either about what it did at the box office because it only really came out on Netflix. And I was trying to find how much Netflix bought it for, but I couldn't find that either. So it's all a mystery. And so for the reception, on IMDb, it has a 5.9 out of 10, a 69% on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 61% on Metacritic.
Not too well. Not too well.
Not too well, but what that says to me, like those numbers tell a story, and the story to me is that you either love it or hate it. There's no like
Hmm.
middle ground, maybe. So I think it was a really divisive movie, which I am not surprised. All
Oh
right.
yeah.
Okay. So, did you take notes?
I took about one, two, three, about four notes.
Okay, I took a lot, so you can just jump in.
Okay.
All right.
So yeah, I don't know where if you want to start. I feel like I took my notes on a separate thing from our Google Doc because we have a shared Google Doc, but
Yeah.
you can start with yours.
Well, I just thought so I think it starts off with her and her craft store like um because she's an employee at a craft store, like I said in the plot, and our sister works at like an art store, and I just said that I picture this as her daily life is just explaining the different kinds of colors of fabric, even though that's not what she does at all.
That opening sequence. I was reading some. I don't remember where I read it from, but it was like I think it was after the movie. I was like, yeah, what the hell just happened? I need to look it up. I need to do some research. And it was like it just like went over the every point in the movie, and it was like, yeah, the intro is a very Sundance accepted like norm for her, just because it felt, I don't know, it just felt like it just felt ordinary. It's just like this is you're being placed into the in her life, so you can see what exactly happens.
Oh yeah, this is a very, very much Sundance like film festival film. Like I could picture myself sitting in there watching this
Yeah.
and being weirded out.
Yeah, my first note is because she's at you're just following her through her, I guess, her daily routine. When she gets home and she brushes her teeth, why do people in movies use no toothpaste when they're brushing their teeth?
I wonder, I bet it's a logistical thing. Like I bet if I'm filming a movie and shooting like if say we were about to film a scene like that, for your actor's sake, you're not going to want them unless you have to in case you have to do a bunch of takes, you don't want them to actually have to use toothpaste because then that's a lot of toothpaste.
Yeah,
It's like
but
the same reason that you don't want them to eat a full meal.
but
Because I understand, but yeah, I just think it's a logistics thing.
because you just hear it's just there's just brushing they're brushing nothing. They're brushing absolutely nothing. I'm just like, what are you doing? But that was my
Oh, but
first note.
so well, the first sequence, you have to refresh my memory, but is it like that she's working and then she goes to visit her mom? Is that what that's the first?
I believe
Uh,
so. Yeah.
okay, so one of my notes is that I feel like the vibe of this movie is very 90s. I don't know if this is something you can relate to, but it's a very like I don't know, just the way that they would pan certain ways, the way that it looked, the music, everything was just very like it felt like I was watching like a 90s special, like an after school special, which I did like, and I think it fit the vibe of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, she she was making anklets. I don't know. I get what you're saying. The
But
aesthetic
also,
for sure. I get.
yeah. And going to her making anklets and watching that Purgatory show, The one of the notes I put is I'm assuming that Purgatory is a fake show.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
there's
I
no way that's
honestly,
real.
I truly did not know. But yeah, I know now it is, but I was like so confused because I've seen that the guy that they showed, I've seen him on a show like that, but I don't know what it was.
Criminal Minds?
I don't fucking know. I probably.
No, it's that one. I wasn't asking you, I was telling you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Then sure.
But that whole sequence made me think of mom so much.
Of her making anklets.
Just making she's working on her crafts while she's watching some like murder show, like 60
That's true,
Minutes
yeah.
or any crime show. That was mom.
That was really funny that she's making like she's being all sweet making an anklet and they're just like flopping a dead body around.
Yeah.
That is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a bunch of just weird notes in here, but one of them is one alarm. I could never.
Oh
The fact that
yeah,
she only
she's
had one
insane.
alarm for 7 o'clock. But so me and Sebastian have a lot of alarms, but it also made me think of how Sebastian, that probably what it looks like to Sebastian when I turn mine on, because I like to have mine at weird times. Like here, let me look at mine. I have four alarms that I rotate, but I have one, the one that I'm using for tomorrow has 6:01 a.m. and 6:13. And he was like,
Why?
"Why not do 6 or 6:15?" And I said, I just don't want to. I want like random times.
I have I have a lot because I always make some for random purposes, but I never get rid of them. I have one for 6:47, and then I have one for 7:03.
Oh, this
I get,
is a fun game. So the next two I have, so I have 6:01, 6:13, and then I have a 9 a.m. and a 10 a.m. I don't know why.
oh, I have more than 30 alarms.
Oh my God. What the fuck?
Well, okay, that's okay. This is what I'm saying. Like, if, sometimes I need to wait. Like on the weekends, I need to wake up a little bit later, so I'll make
Why would
the
you make a new
alarms.
one?
Well, because I don't want to change it.
Oh my God.
I just flip the switch and it's already on. Anyways, this is the most boring conversation.
I think it's interesting.
Um, say
Oh,
what's
and
your
the
next?
next note is about her when she's sleepwalking.
Oh,
And I just said how sleepwalking is so scary. I don't know what I would do if my roommate or Sebastian or somebody would sleepwalk. I think I would lose my shit.
do you
I
remember
don't know
when
what
I
to do.
sleepwalk?
Yeah, oh yeah, that's true. I should have punched you in the face.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like that. Like you weren't just standing. Like that's fucking creepy.
Well, I
Like, can you
mean,
imagine
I
if you
pee.
just like in the middle of the night, if you just like got up to go to the restroom and Kayla was just standing there?
Oh, I'd punch her in the throat.
Exactly. That's
Oh my
fucking
God,
scary.
that's terrifying. I don't like. What do you do? Do you wake them up?
You're not supposed to wake them up, no.
Why?
I don't know like the exact reason, but they can get like really startled.
Good. I
No,
mean,
it's a
I'd
bad
be
thing.
startled.
You should look it up, but you're not supposed to. You're supposed to just leave them alone or like try to maybe coax them into going back to bed. I don't know. Either way, he woke her up and she was fine. So that's why I was like, is she actually
Hmm.
asleep? But I don't know. Um, oh, and another thing, because I think after that, they were just kind of showing more of her lonely life. And after watching like Lars and the Real Girl and just all these like sad movies, I think the thing that's like really hard for me to watch is when people are lonely in movies.
Mm.
I just felt so bad for her because she's so. I mean, it's different when you don't care if you're lonely, you kind of like invite it, but you could tell that she wants friends and she wants people to connect with. And so
Oh,
it's so
when she was
painful
like,
for me to see that.
yeah, when she said, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna hang out with my
Oh,
my Zumba class friends after for my
I
birthday."
know. And I was like, girl, you don't have any friends. I already know it. Poor girl. But
What
yeah,
else you
and
got?
then and then she met what I had. So my next note is the sage card had me dying. What was this? Oh yeah. So she was at work and some lady came up to her talking about some like energy, whatever, about like peach because it has a good energy. And then she asked if she had a card or she could like, or she's like, "Oh, do you want my card? You can maybe contact me." And the bitch gave her a card wrapped in a full bundle of sage, which was very funny. And it made me think of when I think it was last year when Emily came for South by, she said that they were promoting that movie La Llorona and they gave her a bundle of
Oh,
sage.
that's so funny.
But that's good promotion. I don't know about this lady because that was a big ass bundle of sage. This one was like not that big.
Yeah, like she's losing money for sure, giving out those things. And like, how many does she carry with her? So many questions.
And she probably smells so much like sage. Like probably I don't know if it's like bad, but I would assume it's not great, like that much sage on one person.
It's gotta be
I don't.
unhealthy.
Okay, and then we move on to her birthday. So she doesn't have any friends to celebrate with, but then her roommate brings her boyfriend, and then her boyfriend's like, "Oh, let me invite my roommate." And then I put, "This is very cringy," and I think it was when they were dancing. No, no, no.
Mm.
That wasn't. It was before then. So that's when he came over and she was being weird because his name was Darren.
Oh, like
And,
from
and it was
Purgatory?
just yeah, and just the entire thing, just them talking, him playing the music, it was so cringy. But one genius part, I think that probably the part that made me cry laughing and was my favorite part was when they were talking when Allison Brie and that guy were like talking to each other and you could hear the music in the background and then you like pan over to her roommate and her boyfriend and he's rapping. It's not listening to the
Mm.
music, he's rapping it.
He's so funny. That
He
was
doesn't
such a
have a
funny part.
he doesn't have a shirt on and he's just rapping.
That
Now that part
was
was
genius.
so fucking funny. So I just absolutely love that part. And then that's when I said another note was this is so painful to watch. And it was that dancing scene when they were just like
Oh.
dancing together. I absolutely hated watching that.
But I feel like it's so realistic as far
Is it?
as well, as far as like the dialogue and the like awkward human interactions go, and I felt like the
I
Duplass
guess,
brothers
yeah.
are perfect at that, you know?
That's true.
Like the party whenever they're like just talking and he's like, "Oh, your name's Darren?" And I don't know. It was just
Yeah,
perfect like that.
true.
Whenever skipping a little forward now, but whenever Sarah's telling the girl who rides her old dog horse, her old horse,
Yeah.
she's like, well, Willow really likes to be ridden European style. And she's like, well, I'm gonna do a Western, and just the whole conversation was super
Yeah.
awkward. Felt super real. I don't know.
Okay.
That was my last
Oh.
note.
Well, I have a lot
So,
more. So, okay, so the next thing was whenever she was having those dreams of these two people, and she didn't know who they were. But then she saw the guy, and so she was following him, and then she used the money that that guy gave her, which was a lot of fucking money. He just like handed her money and was like, "Here you go," and it was like hundred bills. I was like,
yeah,
"Oh, must be fucking nice." But I just didn't understand what was happening and what she was planning to gain, and I didn't understand if I needed to know that. You know what I mean? Like
hmm
I knew that she saw him from the dream, but I didn't understand her motivation in paying for him to like go to her house and what she wanted to talk to him about. I just didn't get it. And I didn't
yeah.
understand if I was supposed to, if I like missed something. But yeah.
I don't know. I felt like she just wanted. I mean that question lingered, but it paid off a little
Yeah.
bit towards the end because she just wanted to know why she saw him if he experienced the same thing or if
Oh,
he
I
experienced the same
guess.
thing.
But like I just don't understand why she had to take him, like why she had to have him come to her house. Why she couldn't just bring it up then.
I
I
mean,
don't
if
know.
that's happening to you, I don't think you'd be rational about it. Or maybe you would.
I
Oh.
guess. I don't know. I think most of my confusion was like, should I know what's happening? But I guess no is the answer. Oh, another thing that I actually learned while watching this movie is I didn't know you had to lean forward when you had nosebleeds.
Mm,
I
yeah.
don't have them a lot because I'm not a nerd. No, I'm kidding.
I was about to say, last time I had one, Kayla told me that.
To lean forward?
Yeah,
I mean, it makes
because
sense when they like explained it.
mm-hmm, because it'll just drip down your throat, and I don't know about the whole nauseous thing. That's a little excessive, but like it'll just
Yeah, for little bitches, maybe get nauseous.
it'll just drip down your throat.
Oh, and I skipped a little bit, but so now she's on the date with Darren.
Mm.
And another cringy part because he was kind of fueling that whole alien thing, and you could tell that he was kind of like being serious, but in a way that, when you tell somebody when you're on a date or when you're meeting somebody and you tell them like a weird thing that you like and they also agree with you and you kind of like go back and forth, but you have an understanding that you don't actually like believe fully in this shit. But you could tell that she was like so into it. And that it just was really I could tell you could kind of tell what's gonna happen after that, and I just hated how much he was feeling it, but like in the worst way. But
But
he doesn't know that.
yeah, I was about to say he didn't know that, and
I know, but it was
she
just I'm
looked
just saying for the
crazy.
viewer, yeah, and for the viewer to see that, I was like, ugh. And she did look insane. And I also, whenever she was like, "Can I take you somewhere?" I put in all caps, she did not take him to the fucking house to just sit there and watch. Can you imagine? And the fact that he didn't just go home after that and I was expecting him to be like, oh, well, I'm kind of tired, like one of those things, but he just kept going. And then I put, he's straight up thinking that she's gonna murder him. Like
Yeah,
at a certain point, I think he was just like, well, this is what's gonna happen. And I also said, this is why you don't date, folks.
this is
This
it.
is why. And then she took him to the grave, and I put, "Oh my God, the grave."
Yeah, her mom's
Um,
great.
and I also liked the music in that scene. I don't remember what it sounded like, but I remember putting that I liked it.
Oh,
Uh,
all the music was perfect because it felt it just matched it perfectly where it just felt really like angsty, very like it was like creepy. It was creepy
mhm,
almost. I don't
very
know
much.
how else to describe it.
Oh, and I put the best line in this movie is when he yelled at her, "I'm a paralegal."
Yeah, yeah. She asked him, "Who do you work for?"
I'm a paralegal.
Because she thinks he's like working with the aliens. I guess I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, that was so sad. Oh. And I put, what was I talking about? I put okay. I said the only rational thing that she's complained about in this movie so far is that the boyfriend is there all the time.
Mm. Yeah.
But that was also sad when like she was saging the apartment and she was obviously,
Oh,
unhinged and then that girl was kind of trying to help her. I don't know, that was sad. And then she like went into the shower and then came out and she was in the store. Oh my God.
I really liked that whole part, or just the whole like you can't you're this is from her perspective.
Yeah.
Like from her perspective, she was in the shower and then she was awoken in the store naked, and just everyone was looking at her.
Yeah.
But I really want to know what everyone else saw. Like she just like drove there, walked over there.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering too. But that's one thing that I do like about this movie, but I can't, it's one of those like weird things that I want to say that that they did it well, but I don't really know. But I feel like from what I've read from some of the comments online, like when I went to like look at the trailer again and I went to some videos, and a lot of people said that they portrayed mental illness really well. And I can kind of like, as somebody that I'll be transparent that I've never really had to deal with anything like this in terms of like mental illnesses, but it did seem like whenever I was watching that part, like especially when she would fall asleep and then wake up and was like at a phone booth, or when she went into the shower and came out and she was at the store, that like they did a good job of showing that she didn't go into that store naked on purpose. I feel like some movies make it seem like, oh, they're crazy, so they wanted to do that. Like there's obviously something mentally going on with her that's wrong, but like like you said, she just thought she was taking a shower and she walked out and didn't mean to like walk into a public area. And so I feel like they did a good job of that, of showing like these mental illnesses are not there. It's just the people that have them, they have to live with them and deal with them. It's like a thing that happens to you, you know? Like you don't like have that, you don't do that stuff on purpose to in some cases. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Hmm.
But I think they did a good job of that because I was like really empathizing with the fact that she felt helpless. I think that's what she said. That she was trying so hard to, be normal, and even though that guy like she was obviously in the wrong for taking that guy to, her mom's gravesite and to that house. But I think you could tell she genuinely thought that he was believing the same thing that she was. So it's not like in the moment he's probably upset and thinks that she's insane and like why would you do that? But like once you look back at it and you see, I guess with our viewer point of view, that it wasn't she wasn't doing it intentionally to like freak him out, you know?
Hmm.
But yeah, so I liked that aspect of this movie. But
Oh, yeah. I really felt bad for her because I was like, man,
yeah.
like, what's happening? What's happening to her?
And as a viewer, like I feel like at least for me when I watch stuff and there's a problem, I'm like, okay, maybe they can do this to solve it. You kind of try to solve the problem for them. But in this one,
Hmm.
they did a good job of making you feel helpless yourself, or you're like, well, maybe she can take medicine. And you're like, well, but she probably, I don't know if she can like go to a doctor or do that, or maybe she doesn't even know she should be doing that. Maybe she thinks it's like, she obviously thinks it's real. So like, maybe going to the doctor isn't an option. And that guy, she tried to tell him and he wasn't helping her anyways. So like, I don't know, it just made you feel helpless too, in a way, because I couldn't
Yeah.
really think of a way for her to get help that she hadn't tried already. But yeah,
The
sorry.
fabrics weren't helping.
I know the
That's
peach.
what she said.
And then I put that there was a Duplass sighting.
Oh, yes. What was this?
He was a doctor that she was seeing.
What?
So it was Jay Duplass was the doctor.
Which doctor?
Oh, the second one.
Not the
When she
old
got admitted. No, not the old guy.
Ethan.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And then also that same part is whenever she was just like saying, I think that's when she was talking about how she was helpless. Um, I wrote down that this is probably the best Alison Brie performance that I've seen.
I
And
could
I
see
think,
that.
yeah, and I think that's what made me like, there's some things in this movie I liked, some that I didn't. And one of the big things that I liked was her. I think she gave a really good performance, and I really like the character that she built. Um, so yeah, but that really solidified like, oh, she's like a really good actress. But yeah,
Yeah, I've I really followed her when she was on Community, and I watched it fairly recently. But yeah, I love uh Community, and she was fantastic in it. So, but yeah, she was fantastic in this movie. Very
yeah.
believable.
And then I have a few notes left. So I remember this part was whenever I think she fell asleep and she was like that whole weird sequence where she was wearing like a full bodysuit and then just walking around to different people. And I don't know. I think that's when I realized that this movie may be too weird for me to follow because I just did not understand that entire sequence at all. I
Yeah,
didn't
that
get it.
sequence specifically, I think that's where a lot of people would give that the lower rating, just because it kind of was
Yeah,
hard to follow.
I was so lost and I just didn't understand what was happening. It also took me way too long to figure out that the new guy, so when she was like having sex with that guy, and then it turned out to be like, and it changed to a different guy. It took me too long to realize that was the guy from the show. I was like, who is this and what is going on? I don't know.
Why?
I thought I thought somehow it cut back to the hospital and she was like, I don't know. I just had no idea and I was like, oh, it's the other Darren. And then she like gets the horse because she's like, oh, I know what to do now. And then my last note is, girl, what happened? I'm so confused. I don't know. I just didn't understand it.
Yeah, kind
But
of hard to
yeah.
follow.
But I think like before we get into like I only have two fun facts, but before we get into that, my final thoughts of the movie was that I think it was just I wanted to like it, but it was just too weird for me to like. That last sequence I didn't care for it at all. I didn't understand what was happening. Whenever she finally met the other girl from her dream, I thought it would be like a big epiphany and I would finally tie everything together, but it really didn't. And I don't know if that was the point. I don't know. My final thoughts is I don't think I liked it. I like certain parts of it, but as a movie overall, I didn't like it.
Mm, for me, the beginning, like it was a little slow towards the beginning, but I'm very interested. I don't know if you've seen. I felt this not. I felt the same way, the same confusion when I saw the house that Jack built. Have you seen that
Mm,
one?
I've seen parts of it.
Especially towards the end, I felt pretty much the same way where I was like, I have no idea what was happening, but I kind of liked it, you know.
Yeah.
Definitely talking about it has made me appreciate the movie more, just because I really didn't think about how it really did make you feel as hopeless as she felt.
hmm
Um, but yeah, I want to know more. So I think I need to rewatch it. Probably not for a couple of months, but I liked it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind. There's like a difference between not understanding a movie and not liking it, because at least for me, I've seen a lot of movies where when I walk out, I'm like, I don't know what happened, but I knew that I liked it, you know, and this was one of those where I didn't know what happened and it kind of annoyed me and I just didn't really care for it. So, yeah, but let's get into two of the fun facts. So, the first one is this is a cool, like, interesting tidbit that I didn't even think of, but the same exact shades of two colors, a blue gray and a peach, are used throughout the film. The blue gray is when Sarah's feeling more lucid, and then peach is when she is less lucid. And that makes a lot of sense.
hmm I mean, that's why she was using her fabrics. Like her when she was using the sage, she had peach pretty much across the entire room.
Oh yeah, it was like all peach. And then her grandmother's
Yeah,
dress was peach.
yeah. Her clone.
Oh gosh, yeah. Um, And the next one, which I didn't realize but makes a lot of sense now, is that none of the dialogue is scripted.
That's that's perfect. And I think that really feeds into the whole the awkward situations felt so real
Yeah.
because it really was just them.
Well, so this director is known for doing, he's not the first one to do it. I know a lot of, I think the Duplass brothers have done it before, and then there's another director that I can't think of his name that he's also like kind of known for doing this, but where they just make like an outline. So they make a detailed outline of what each scene will be and what I think what kind of goal they're trying to accomplish. But yeah, so they don't directly script the entire like dialogue. And he's done this before for two other movies that I've seen. One called Joshi, which I think is on Hulu, and one called The Little Hours, which is on Netflix.
Mm.
And if you want to see something from this director, I would honestly recommend those two over this one. I think Joshi is probably my favorite just because of the people in it. That one has like Thomas Middleditch and Adam Pally. I think Nick Kroll's in it and some other people. And
Mm.
The
Sounds
Little
familiar.
Hours also has a really good cast. I think Alison Brie's also in that one. I think she's in both actually. Alison Brie's in Little Hours, Aubrey Plaza, Dave Franco. I think John C. Reilly's in it, I think too. So both of them are just very good movies. And probably, at least for me, better than these, than this one. But yeah, so those are the two fun facts.
Oh, Alison Brie's also married to Dave Franco.
Yeah.
Little fun fact. No bonus fun fact.
Oh,
Cool.
oh, sorry. And another fun fact. It's not really fun, but it's a fact that so Alison Brie, I think she was a big part in writing this, and it's based sort of on her, I think it's her grandmother or her mother's, somebody on her, in her family's, their history with mental illness. So
Oh
it is
wow.
something that I think she can relate to, and she, dealt with herself. And so that's why it kind of goes into one of those things where it's hard to critique it. I mean, you still want to because it's a movie and it still is up for like you can't really it's not above, a critique, but it's just one of those things that's like it's personal to her, so you still want to appreciate that she did something that can honor what her family went through, but also be critical about it as like just a film. But yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I
All
watched
right.
like an interview with her and she talked about it, I think.
Cool. I gotta check that out. Oh man. Oh man. It's time for my pick. And I I wanted something that you will not be confused about whatsoever.
Oh God, I'm scared.
So funny thing is, we have a Google Doc where we have our notes together, we have our everything that we pretty much said, all our fun facts, reception, budget. And at the end we have our pick. I already have mine written, but I wrote it in white text.
Did you really?
Yes.
I hate you
So my
so.
so my so my pick is gonna be
Wait, I
da,
don't
da,
see
da,
it.
da,
Oh my God, why?
the other guys. In part because I've been wanting to watch this movie again for so long, but it's also really funny. That's
I
it.
don't think I've
The other
ever seen
guys.
it.
No? Oh,
I don't
oh
think
my
so. Is this the
gosh.
one with Mark Wahlberg?
Mark Wahlberg, Will Ferrell, The Rock,
I think I've seen
uh,
parts of it.
Ice-T's the narrator.
What? Okay, wait, I need some explaining. Why this movie?
If we're being in all seriousness, I pulled up Netflix and it came onto Netflix very recently, and so it was like on the top.
Oh, yikes. Okay.
Michael Keaton, Samuel L. Jackson, like I said, The Rock, Mark Wahlberg, Derek Jeter, Will Ferrell. Um,
An all-star cast.
an all-star cast indeed. Let me just give you a quick synopsis. What IMDb says: two mismatched New York City detectives seize an opportunity to step up like the city's top cops, whom they idolize. Only things don't go quite as planned. So yeah, that'll be fun. I like doing funny movies. Quite the change from Horse Girl, so.
Yep. I mean, well, I probably won't be confused about it, but I'm confused why you chose it. I'm just kidding. Alrighty. Well, I guess I'm excited. If you say it's funny, and the last funny one that you picked was actually pretty funny, so
What was the last funny one I picked?
I think Surf's Up.
Mm, yeah. Yeah,
So this better
that
be
one's
on that
that's a good one.
level, and if it's not, end of podcast.
End of podcast. I think that's pretty much all we got, right?
All right. Well, I'm excited to talk about a funny movie. Have we done one in a while? I feel like all of these
Mm,
have been like I hate that you already changed the title of our of our notes page.
our Google Doc. You know what? That's okay. I need to be
Yikes.
ready.
All right. Well,
No, we haven't done a funny movie in a while.
no, we
Book
haven't.
Smart. Wait, let me look real
I
fast.
know, and like I feel like oh yeah, we did do a funny one. But it's hard to like I mean, sometimes I try to be funny for like these recordings, which probably doesn't happen. But it's hard with movies like this with Horse Girl because I don't want to make like jokes about it. You know, it's kind of a serious movie.
Yeah, the other guys is not that.
So we'll see.
Yeah, but
All
please
right.
let us know, guys, if there's any questions, um, comments or concerns. Really, let us know what's working about this podcast, what doesn't work. We want to know. We want to make something that you guys want to hear. So,
I always
uh,
say fan mail and hate mail.
oh yes.
Send it to us.
Yeah, our Twitter is at brother bro sis show, Instagram brother sister show, email the brosispod@gmail.com. Hit us up. I promise we won't be mean.
Okay.
All right, guys. Goodbye.
Bye.